विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरे तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ Verse 62. बुद्धतत्त्वेन धीदोष शून्येनैकान्तवासिना दीर्घं प्रणवमुच्चार्य मनोराज्यं विजीयते. So after introducing these three types of Jivadvaitam and Tivra Shastriya Jivadvaitam and then Manda Shastriya Jivadvaitam and Shastriya Jivadvaitam. So Vidyaranya talks about the handling of all the three Dvaitams, and first he handled Shastriya Dvaitam. Shastriya Jivasushta Dvaitam is nothing but Vedanta Vichara. Analysis of the Upanishad Vakyas, especially Mahavakya, with the help of the teacher, so that the knowledge takes place. That's called Shastriya Jivasushta Dvaitam. And it is handled in which sense? So you study the Shastra, gain knowledge, and then transcend the Dvaitam. And then Tivra Jivasushta Dvaitam, Ashastriya Jivasushta Dvaitam, it is in the form of a Ragadvesha or Kama Krodha, etc., which is to be handled by what? Three methods. First is a Karma Yoga, second is this Dosha Darshanam, and third is Mithyatva Nishchaya. So these three methods are there. One of them you can employ, or all the three can be employed, either. Perhaps initially it may be so that you may not be able to employ this Mithyatva Darshanam. It's very difficult to see the Mithyatva, hollowness in the world, initially. Later, that also with the help of Vedanta Shravanam, etc., one is able to do that also. But initially, Dosha Darshanam is very independently you can do. And also, Karma Yoga also one can employ as a method to handle one's Kama Krodha. So, and then, Manda Shastriya Jivasushta Dvaitam, that is restlessness of the mind, or we can call chattering problem, chattering box. Our mind is a chattering box. All the time, keep on, from morning to night, constantly speaking, constantly. So somebody told with whom person talks maximum, with oneself actually. Keeps on talking. Now let me do brush. Now let me do this. Oh, this is good. That's okay. But then it chatters so much. While doing brush itself, so much chattering can be is done. And therefore, so this chattering problem of the mind is taken care of. That's called handling of a Manda Ashastriya Jivasushta Dvaitam. And here it is, Vidyaranya uses the word Manorajyam actually. Anyway, why it should be handled? Because it is chattering in my mind, it cannot create a nuisance to other. But it can turn to a Tivra Ashastriya Jivasushta Dvaitam, and that can become a nuisance for others also. And therefore, so don't allow this Manorajyam etc. also, tackle it. And one method of tackling is this Ashtanga Yoga method. I mean, ultimately that leads to Chitta Vritti Nirodha, etc. at the end. And so if a person has not undergone formally training of Ashtanga Yoga, then you can practice with Vedantic Nididhyasana also in any posture, well, in which you are comfortable. Basically, even in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, etc. also, of course, we have discussed this in chapter 1. And so Nididhyasanam can lead to Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So our Nididhyasanam, in which the absorption of the thoughts pertaining to the self, in that one gets absorbed totally. That is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. We should not worry too much about it. But one can resort to Ashtanga Yoga as a cover. I mean, it's just a cover. Inside it is all our Nididhyasana only. But if you say, well, I can't sit properly, this, that, etc., so asana, pranayama, etc., well, I can't close my nose because immediately I feel suffocated. So I can't do pranayama also. Or if I do pranayama, there is a stomach problem. Some kind of a problem arises. And therefore, I don't want to do. And therefore, okay, don't do that Ashtanga. As such, it is a cover. So, well, then you can practice the Vedantic Nididhyasanam without in any posture, let's say, not a particular posture of a Ashtanga Yoga, sitting in a Padmasanam, etc. So, well, in whichever posture you are comfortable, you can sit, you can relax, well, you can stand, you can walk, and like that, or you lie down also, any comfortable posture. And there again you call Vedantic teaching only and take appropriate portion of the Vedanta to knock off these disturbing thought patterns. We call chattering box, etc., or Manorajyam. So, which is occupying all the time, and this disturbance could be, could be in form of a past regret also, could be a future concern also. These two things are there all the time. So, confront them directly. This is what Manda Shastriya Jiva Sushtadvaitam. Well, so confront it directly and bring this appropriate portion of the Vedanta, see the Mithyatvam, etc. What is past and what is future? That itself is questioned. Not that event in the past has to be handled. First thing is one has to handle this time. That itself is a myth. It's a myth. And therefore there is no past actually. So far as self is concerned, so far as my real nature is concerned, so far as I is concerned, there is no past or future. Whatever there is only present. And therefore, then the other problem of the past or future, concern of the future and regret of the past, etc., well, itself comes later. So, anyway, so bring appropriate portion of the Vedanta, etc., and then see Mithyatvam or irrelevance of this, a thought pattern, disturbing thought patterns. And so, wipe mind clean. So, be free from Manda Shastriya Jiva Sushtadvaitam. And then we saw in this verse, Buddha Tattvena Dhidosha Shunyena. Buddha Tattvena. One who has Buddham Tattvam Yena. Saha Buddha Tattva. Buddha means known, Tattvam, Atma, self. So one who has already gained knowledge through Shravanam and Mananam, he has got enough clarity. That person is called Buddha Tattva. So by such a person, Dhidosha Shunyena, and he has also handled Tivra Ashastriya Jiva Sushtadvaitam, Dhidosha Shunyena, Rahitena, Dhidosha, Dhi means this intellect, Dosha, this Kama, Krodha, etc. And Shunyena, Rahitena, one who has made oneself free from Kama, Krodha also. So Buddha Tattvam is one who has done Shravanam Mananam and gained clarity in the knowledge, and also one who has made oneself free from Tivra Ashastriya Jiva Sushtadvaitam. Such a person has to do what? Ekantena, he has to learn to remain, to be alone in secluded place every day for some time. Dirgha Pranamam Uchcharya. So, well, chanting, a long Omkara, but that is not the, it's not, I would say that is not required actually. But if you want to chant, it's okay. basically here Ucharanam is not relevant, but relevant is deep breathing actually, in and out. So Dirgha Pranava is equal to, we have to translate as a Dirgha Shwasa. Where somebody says, well, I don't want to chant Omkar. There may be a person, champion, who may say like that. But anyway, so Dirgha Pranava is equal to Dirgha Shwasa. And why Dirgha Shwasa? Why deep breathing? Because it automatically quietens the mind. And so, the mind, because you want to bring the teaching now, in order to get rid of this Manda Shastri Jiva Sushta Dvaitam Manorajyam, etc. And therefore, if you take a deep breath, definitely your mind gets quietened. And it is scientifically proven also that deep breathing has several connections to the brain. They measure also some various parameters, etc. And you ask to any person to breathe in and out, they say there is a change in the chemistry of the body. And that change is not seen after 1 hour or so. It is immediate. In fact, toxicity, etc. comes down. All these experiments have been done already. So toxicity of the body also comes down, etc. Anyway, so the effect of a deep breathing, you will get that advantage. That's how even in Upadesh Saram, Ramana Maharshi also said, Vayurodhanat liyate manaha jalapakshivat rodha sadhanam. Vayurodhanat. Vayu means prana, etc. Rodhanat liyate manaha. Manaha, mind gets abided once you hold your prana. Because that he has told in the previous verse, that mind and the breathing are nothing but just 2 branches of one tree only. So if one branch you pull, the other will automatically get pulled also. So, Dirgha Pranama Ucharya, deep breathing. So if you practice this Nididhyasanam, whatever disturbing thought patterns are there, they go away. And so chattering of the mind slows down, comes down. So what advantage would be there of this kind of a Nididhyasanam, etc.? Well, it has been told in verse 63. Jite tasmin vrittishunyam manastisthati mukavat etat padam vasisthena ramaya bahudheritam. What happens by this Nididhyasana Abhyasa? This phalam is pointed out here. Manorajya Jayam, as such we know, winning over our worries, winning over murmuring, etc. of the mind actually. So mind becomes silent. Jite tasmin sati saptami. Jite tasmin manorajye jite. So this manorajya, etc. or vikshepa or manda shastra jiva sushta dvaitam. Jite, when it is conquered, when it is driven away. So basically, manaha mukavat tishtati. So when there are quiet moments, we have seen that. When there are quiet moments, means external sounds are not there, and there is a physical silence. You are not doing any kind of a cheshta, etc. Verbally, you are silent. Then mind remains noisiest. Mind will be noisiest thing. And so here, when manorajyam is won over, then along with the external world, mind also becomes silent. Mukavat tishtati. So, just as a dumb person is silent, similarly mind also is silent. He gives an example, mukavat. And then what advantage will be there? If my mind is silent, no chattering, worrying, etc. Well, and the present world, wherever you are, you will enjoy that world. If you are walking in the garden, you will enjoy the green grass also. And you will enjoy any flower, everything you will enjoy. And well, if you are sitting on a beach, etc., the mind is able to appreciate ocean. You may be able to appreciate flying of seagulls, etc., etc. I am just adding few things. So you may be able to enjoy even cloud formation, sitting on a beach, well, etc. And so sound of waves you can enjoy. Everything you can enjoy. When mind becomes free from chattering, well, one can enjoy the present, wherever one is. So because mind has no agenda, no plan, and so otherwise mind becomes, doubly active, one all the time worrying and, preoccupied, etc. So now, because of this kind of nididhyasanam, etc., one gains a freedom from agenda at the mental level. So mind enjoys silence, and this is called mukti. Now I'm giving you definition of mukti in terms of experience. Please understand that. Till today we have never discussed this kind of a thing. That what is an experience of mukti that we are discussing. So moksha is not it's centered on the self, and therefore it is not actually experienced. Moksha is not an experienced, because I am moksha swarupa. That's a different thing. But at the level of mind, suppose a person is a jnani person, at the level of mind, does he enjoy liberation or not? Yeah, he enjoys. And what kind of a liberation that we are discussing? So there is no liberation other than this liberation from internal chattering of the mind. So ashanti nivrutti actually and shanti prapti is moksha. And so this is called Brahmananda. There is no other Brahmananda other than this inner peace. And therefore ashantasya kutas sukham, Bhagavan also told in Bhagavad Gita, ashantasya kutas sukham. If a person's mind is agitated, chattering and worrying, etc., kutas sukham, where is happiness? So anyway, so manaha mukavat tishtati, so mind basically abides in silence. Etat padam, so this destination, padam, whenever padam word comes in Vedanta, you have to take it as a goal, destination. Well, this destination, which is a real goal, etat padam. All other scholarships are actually useless. If this jnanam is not internalized, if you don't get a silence at the level of mind, whatever we know, whatever bhashyam and whatever everything we know, it's all useless. All useless. Because this mind that scholarship has not paid you anything. Other than few people will recognize you as a scholar. What a big deal it is. It is samsara only. And therefore, ultimately, jnanam is not internalized, nothing is everything is shunyam. Whatever knowledge also is there, it is shunyam. How can you say like that? You have got too much boldness. That is what Sanat Kumara told to Narada in Chandogya Upanishad. Narada told, I know this, I know that, and I know that, and so many vidyas, all the Vedas and Vedangas and this and that. Sanat Kumara says, this is all zero. You don't know number one. You have to know number one. One you have to know, and then these zeros will have a value. Otherwise, there is no value. If you don't put a 1 in front, all the zeros have a value of 0. And if you put a 1 in front, well, all the zeros will add 10 times. And therefore, this is Sanat Kumara told very bluntly to Narada. You should have known something which you don't know at all. And therefore, all these knowledges which you are describing now, I know all these, all Vyakaranam and Jyotisham and this and that, and all is useless. All is useless. So this is how it is. So internalization of this knowledge should be the criteria. If you have a time, Swamiji, where should I spend my time? Should I memorize Upanishad mantra? Should I do this? Should I read more Bhashyam, Tika, Tippani? Forget about it. Forget about it. Really speaking, I'm telling you, forget about it. Spend time in internalization. Otherwise, all these things will definitely make ego a little bigger. That's all. That ego is basically a beggar, actually. That ego is seeking some kind of a fame, name, etc. And few people will tell you also, oh, you are a good scholar, etc. of this. You memorize so many things. You know Vedanta thoroughly, etc. etc. Few people. Some people will not have value for it also. Anyway, so this is just making a bigger your ego. And ego is ego. When ego is present, one will have a sense of a limitation, individuality. Ego is limited. Anyway, so one should be in a process of resolving ego. One should be in a process of resolving ego in order to be big. Not one should resort to scholarship in order to be big. And therefore, a very essential thing is whatever quality time we have during waking state, spend time in internalizing this knowledge. How to get rid of this murmuring, how to get rid of worries, etc. This is all manorajya. So this is Manda Shastri Jivadvaitam or Vikshepa, etc. one should spend time in Nididhyasanam, etc. in order to remove them. And who says that Vasishtena Ramaya Iritam? Even Vasishta, who is this is Yoga Vasishta actually. So Yoga Vasishta, 34,000 verses. This is also called Vasishta Ramayana, and there is a abbreviated version also, in which there are 4,000 verses, and still there is an abbreviated version also. So that abbreviated version is a Laghu Yoga Vasishta, but this is also 4,000. Whole life will go in that. But anyway, that is nothing but a teachings of Vasishta, who was a Kulaguru of Raghuvamsha, and he taught Vasishta taught to Rama, and he said this, that one should be free from basically this Manorajyam, that is called Mukti, where the mind becomes silent. Silent, it does not mean it does not think. It is free from disturbing thought patterns. So this is a moksha, this is a Jivan Mukti, experientiable Jivan Mukti, and this is at the level of mind. Anyway, so and this Manashanti actually has not become, this is not because of a favorable external condition. Vedanta calls it, if external situations are favorable and one gets Manashanti, this is within samsara. But Swamiji, please, you told this moksha means basically silence at the mind, freedom from disturbing thought patterns. But even before I exposed to Upanishad, or even doing Shravana Manana itself, I am enjoying sometimes that kind of a mind. So then why do I require to do all this Shravana Mananam and then again to remove this Manorajya? Why I don't require? Because basically I enjoy such certain silence of the mind here and there, at a certain time. So what is the difference between this moksha and that kind of a silence of a mind? Well, the difference is that peace of the mind or silence of the mind which you got in different situations, it's all result of punyam, and that goes away. It's a karma phala, it will go away. But whereas this is jnanajanyam, that is karmajanyam, where big difference. Anything karmajanyam will go away, and anything karmajanyam, since it goes away, we include that kind of a shanti in a samsara. Any kind of a karma phala is a samsara, that's all. Whether it's a punya or papa, both. And therefore, we are not interested in this. Whether this shanti is born of Brahmajnana. Jnanajanyam shanti. Silence at the mind, level of the mind, where basically Jnanajanyam. And Jnanajanyam means it is based on your knowledge about yourself, that you are silence. And ultimately, so basically this will not go away. Since it is not born of karma, it won't go away. And if it is Jnanajanyam, we call it as a samsara nivritti. If it is Karmajanyam shantihi, Karmajanyam manas shantihi, silence of the mind, born as a karma phala, etc., it is within the samsara. And so any other shanti, other than this jnanam, is impermanent. And that's how Bhagavan also told, ehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkha yonaya evate. Samsparshaja bhoga, ultimately a shanti, born of this as a karma phala, is dukkha yonaya. Dukkha yonaya means it is a cause of ultimately unhappiness only, because it goes away. It gives you a shanti and then it goes away and leaves behind. Leaves you in definitely in this kind of a agitation. Ultimately, once you enjoy a peace of the mind and then when it goes away, it brings a lot of agitation in your mind. You want to retain it, you want to get it back, but it doesn't come because it is born of karma. So anyway, Vasishtha has talked about this Jnanajanya Shanti to Bhagavan, and so Vidyaranya quotes now Bahudha Iritam. So actually Ramaya Bahudha Iritam. Bahudha Iritam means has been told. This silence of the mind, which is born of Jnanam, etc., has been told by Vasishtha to Rama in many ways. So then he is going to quote now Yoga Vasishtha. Now Vidyaranya quotes Yoga Vasishtha. Let's read verse number 64. Drishyam nasti iti bodhena manaso drishyamarjanam sampannam chet tadutpanna para nirvana nirvritihi. So, this is a verse from Yoga Vasishtha, of course, from Vairagya Prakaranam. That's the third chapter and sixth verse. And and here it has been said, how does this Jnanam help me discover this kind of a Shanti? So, what is the mechanism behind Jnanajanya Shanti? And so it works by, the answer is it works by classifying these orders of reality appropriately. So what happens? What is the reshuffling? Well, he says here, Vasishtha says to Rama, actually Vidyaranya is quoting. So any drishyam is mithya. And druk, the druk, which is sakshi, is satyam. So, we should not say any druk. So, any drishyam is mithya, any druk is satyam. We can't say like that. Any druk. Because druk is only one. And therefore, druk is only one. And therefore, the sakshi is only one. There cannot be another consciousness. If you say there is another consciousness, I would immediately take that consciousness and dump into inert thing. Because that consciousness has become an object of your knowledge. Anything becomes an object of your knowledge. That is not a consciousness. That is jada. And therefore, another consciousness you cannot prove. If I want to prove another consciousness, then you have to first determine the dimension of first consciousness. Then you will say, that dimension is over. That boundary is over of a first consciousness, and now the boundary of the another consciousness starts. Once you say, a first consciousness has boundary, it's over. It is no more a consciousness because it has become an object of knowledge. How will you talk about a boundary of a consciousness unless it becomes an object of your knowledge? And therefore, nobody can prove. Even scientists cannot prove there are many consciousnesses. Nobody can prove. It is impossible to prove. And that's how, Swami, this scientists are in a laboratory, in experiments, they are showing this is consciousness. This is not consciousness. They are all, if they say that, it is not consciousness of a Vedanta. That may be their consciousness. It is not our consciousness. Consciousness cannot be on the other side of the instrument. Consciousness is the one which is behind this, the one who is observing under the instrument. Okay? And therefore, so this is science. We are also talking parallelly about consciousness. It is humbug. It is humbug. What consciousness we talk about, they can't understand at all. Therefore, consciousness can never be proven by experiments. And there also they cannot prove. Actually, they show you some graphs and on monitors and this and says this is consciousness. And actually, anyway, but so one person in our ashram only was a physicist, and he came here recently in that Swamiji's course. And he, being a physicist, he was talking to me. And he also, agreed ultimately. We just talked in a dining hall, and then he agreed that yes, the best thing is that what Vedanta talks about consciousness can never be on the other side. It can never be an object of observation. That's all. Nothing more than that. We should not say anything further. Nothing should be said further. And even if I tell you, for your sake, I am telling you something more. Even if they say that no, we are proving consciousness, that's Chidabhasa. That's Chidabhasa. Because ultimately they put all the instruments here on the brain, and then they observe the graph. Hey, what manifests in the brain? Well, ultimately it is all it's a manifested consciousness. That is Chidabhasa. And so therefore ultimately consciousness can be realized only as aparoksha. That's all we are saying. Aparoksha. Aparoksha means which is never available for any means of knowledge, yet it is there. That's called aparoksha. And therefore aparoksha, self-evident. If it is evident on itself, it doesn't require to be evident by any means of knowledge. And therefore it is entirely a different thing, which is Brahman, which is limitless, etc. Anyway, this is just by the way. So, any drishyam is mithya. And any druk, don't say that. Druk is satyam. I, the sakshi, druk is satyam. No event in drishya prapancha will affect me really. This is what, how he gained this manashanti, how he gained the silence of the mind. Well, in this line of thinking, well, this is a mechanism of gaining that shanti. So, guna guneshu vartante iti matvana sajjate, etc. This body, mind, sense, complex, etc. There it is affected by desha, it is affected by kala, etc. etc. This is all drishya prapancha. I am this druk, and this darshanam gives me quietude, silence. Drishyam nasti iti bodhena. Drishyam nasti. Drishyam is mithya means what? It is not there. Nasti means really not there. Even though it is experienced, but it is not there. That's all. Here, drishyam nasti means drishyam is mithya. So, drishya nastitva bodha satya drukasti. I mean, so this satyam drish, if drishyam is satyam, well, it can affect me, but it is not there. It is just an appearance, like a sunrise, or like we have seen several examples also. Iti bodhena, with this clear grasping, keep aside, brush aside, what? This drishyam. So, the notion that there is a real disturbing world, etc., well, that's not there. Disturbing world is there, but real disturbing world is not there. And therefore, once you say, instead of real, you put unreal, then no more disturbing also. Anyway, so whatever world you perceive is ultimately mithya drishyam. Like screen can never be affected by scenes of a movie, etc. And same way, this entire drishya prapancha cannot affect this druk, which is satyam, because the reality difference. When a reality difference is there, well, what is mithya can never affect satyam. And that is how we have to understand in this way. So, manasaha drishya marjanam, with this, from the mind, drishya marjanam. Marjanam means cleaning. So, wiping out, basically, removing this entire drishya prapancha. Everything is, whatever is an object of experience is drishya, and that is mithya, which is really not there. It cannot affect me, etc. etc. So remove this satya prapancha, which is actually occupying your mind. Your disturbing thought patterns is pertaining to this drishya prapancha, considering them as a satyam, etc. Well, it is mithya. So vari or ragadvesha indicates there is satyam, right? So, satyatva vishishta jagat is burden. The jagat in which you have a notion that it is real becomes a burden. And then definitely it will generate ragadvesha. And then they generate a burden of the mind. Satyatva buddhi generates ragadvesha. Ragadvesha generates burden of the mind. Burden of the mind generates basically a murmuring of the mind. And murmuring of the mind generates ashanti. And then ashantasya kuta sukham. Well, then where is the sukham? Where is this sukham and shanti are not two different things, basically. In our case, sukham and shanti are not. So if you say shanti also means Brahman, and sukham also is nothing but a Brahman. So anyway, so all this entire drishya prapancha is Maya Natakam. It's basically a play of a Maya Devi, etc. So don't give over importance. Well, we can do whatever duty we have, but we can't attach satyatvam, well, reality, to this world being drishya. So sampannam chet, if you are able to see this world as mithya, as a paper tiger, etc., or if this event takes place, sampannam means if this should take place. Means what? Satya prapancha should be gets converted into mithya prapancha in your mind. It's a cognitive change. So when that takes place, then, but how will I know that that has taken place? How will I know that I now understand this world as a mithya? How will I know? It is no more satyam. How will I know? So the indication is, well, basically chattering, worries, ragadvesha, etc. comes down. That's all. More the ragadvesha comes down, more chattering comes down, more worry about the world, etc. World means your body, mind, sense complex, or maybe your close person, etc. Well, when it comes down, then definitely you are heading towards definitely this understanding the world as a mithya. And once you understand it mithya, well, your mind is available to you to enjoy the present. So then again I tell you, when you are in a garden, well, you enjoy a garden. When you are in a sea beach, you enjoy the sea beach, etc. Everything. So living in present and appreciating the world as it is, well, it is Jivan Mukti. So no fast forward, no rewind, that's all. No fast forward. All the time, person is, I told you some person told that as a human being lives in absentia. Absentia means nothing will be there. No, but they say human being lives in absentia. He is there, but he doesn't live in that present. That's what it means. So in present he is absent. He all the time lives, he does the fast forward of the mind, or he rewinds basically and goes towards the past. So this is a very beautiful indication. Except Jnani, nobody really lives in present. Honestly, our sadhakas also, they are in a process to become Jnani, but they also have some days sitting on a dining table itself in the morning after taking tea and sitting down and like this and seeing in the future so this is because they may have children and so future of children. See, actually their future they may not be thinking of much. Let's say that way. But then future of the children is future of them. And so they think about future of the children are not thinking about their future, but the parents are thinking about their future. And so this is what is happening. And so, whomsoever you identify, so you will have a worry about his future, etc., his or her future also. And therefore, this thing, this is called murmuring. This is called worry, etc. No fast forward, no rewind. No going back to the past, no not moving ahead of in the future. Not imagining, etc. So, whatever Bhagavan plays in my life, in present, that with that player, he tunes with that player actually. And just watch what is happening in the life. So para nirvana nirvatihi utpanna para. So many things he says. Para means actually highest goal. I will explain you how these three things, club together and we will have to find some difference in that. Para means a highest goal. Nirvana means a merger into Brahman or a extinction of an individuality. That's called nirvana. And nirvriti means a fulfillment. So, utpanna means this I have accomplished, etc. So what? I have accomplished the highest goal of life. What is that? Which is nothing but a fulfillment born of extinction of the individuality. This is how we have to translate, okay? So, nirvriti means accomplish this fulfillment. And nirvana means merger into Brahman or extinction of individuality. And para means which is highest goal. So, nirvanena nirvriti. Nirvanena nirvriti. By merging into Brahman, by extinction of the individuality, one gains a fulfillment. Definitely. Till then there is no fulfillment. When you think yourself as a limited being, where is a question of fulfillment? Fulfillment means basically there is no more a sense of limitation, and therefore which is para. Para means which is the highest goal, because everyone's heart is seeking fulfillment in limitlessness or freedom from these limitations, and that has been gained. Now he is going to quote another quotation also from Yoga Vasishta. Vidyaranya is going to quote in next verse. Let's see that. Vicharitam alam shastram chiram utgrahitam mithah sat santyakta vasanan maunan rute nastyuttamam padam. So this is also quotation from Yoga Vasishta from 57th chapter and 28th verse. Perhaps that chapter's name is Sthiti Prakranam, etc. The earlier was a quotation from Yoga Vasishtha only from Vairagya Prakranam, which is the third chapter. This name of this 57th chapter, I mean, in vaguely, it is Sthiti Prakranam or something like that. Shastram alam vicharitam. This Jivan Mukti has been analyzed, this Jivan Mukta person has analyzed this Shastra sufficiently. Alam means sufficiently. Means basically, alam means to the required extent. We know this word. Alam means to the required extent, sufficiently, etc. And it is an adverb to the vicharitam. Please understand, alam has no forms. It is indeclinable. So alam has a sense of, it enhances the sense of, the meaning of basically a verb. So here vicharitam is a participle, but it is in the sense of verb only. So alam vicharitam means analyzed, vicharitam analyzed, and alam sufficiently. So sufficiently analyzed, by that, that works, sufficiently works as an adverb. And therefore, and any adverb in Sanskritam is indeclinable. So alam vicharitam, you see, this person has, the person who is enjoying this kind of a silence, etc., the mind, Jivan Mukti, etc., he has analyzed Shastra sufficiently. Means what? He has done Shravanam. We have to say that way. When Shastra Vicharitam comes, you should not think about Mananam Nididhyasana. You should think about only, because that's the definition of Shravanam, in which you decide the purport of the Shastra with the help of the 6 limbs, Upakrama Upasamharo Abhyaso Apurvata Phalam Arthavadopapattischa Lingam Tatparya Niranaye. So Tatparya, purport of the Shastra, if you want to ascertain, you have to use these tools. And then you ascertain the purport of the Shastra. This is the analysis of the Shastra, which is called Shravanam. So Shastram alam vicharitam means Shravanam. And not only Shravanam, but he has convinced himself by Mananam also. So it is definitely, it is not somebody's information, but it is a fact for him. So Chiram Udgrahitam, see, Chiram Udgrahitam. For sufficient length of time it has been discussed. Udgrahitam, actually Ud plus Graha Dhatu is there. Udgrahanam means sharing or exchanging, discussing, teaching. This all meanings you can take. And so for sufficient length of time it has been discussed, it has been shared, etc. With whom? Mitham. Mitham means anyonyam. Mitham means mutually. So we can understand Mananam also is included here. Mananam is, it is indicating Mananam. And so with this Shravana Mananam, etc., so it is indicating Shastriya Jiva Sushta Dvaitam. And also Tivra Ashastriya Jiva Dvaitam, both have been indicated by Vasishtha to Rama, that these two have been taken care of, these two have been handled. And then what? Santyakta Vasanat, so Manda Shastris, Jiva Sushta Dvaitam, Manda, so that is because Vasanas are based on Manorajyam. So Santyakta Vasanat, actually, so it means Santyaktaha Vasanaha Yesham. So basically, all these Santyakta Vasanas means all Viparita Bhavanas, all disturbing thought patterns are weakened through what? Through Nididhyasana. So Santyakta Vasanam, that word indicates Nididhyasanam. Chiram Udgrahitam Mithaha indicates Mananam. And Vicharitam Alam Shastram indicates Shravanam. Is it clear? So this is a way we have to understand. So, and this Viparita Bhavanas are weakened through Nididhyasana, where it has been told. It is already we have discussed in verse number 62. So, as a result of that, Maunam Praptaha, this person has handled all the 3 Jiva Sushta Dvaitam, Shastriya Jiva Sushta Dvaitam, and then Ashastriya Jiva Sushta Dvaitam, and that to Tivram and Mandam both. And so, now he is free from Jiva Sushta Dvaitam, and therefore, all samsara is gone. Jiva Sushta Dvaitam is a cause of samsara, we have seen that. And now it has gone. So, Maunam Praptaha, he has gained mental silence. His mind is free from whisperings, murmurings, worry, etc. Rite means other than this. Rite means vina. In Sanskritam, if you want another word, rite is equal to vina, without. So, or other than this internal silence, because maunat rute. So, other than this mental silence, etc., internal silence, which is achieved through the Shravana Mananam and Nididhyasanam, or Shravana Mananam and Vasana Santyagaha. Well, other than this, Uttamam Padam Nasti, there is no superior goal. So, this internal Shanti alone is called this Jivan Mukti. And this Shanti, when your mind is silent and happy, basically content, then it reflects in all virtues. A compassion is natural to such a person, and other things are also. Even he can enjoy others' happiness. If you are not happy with yourself, if your mind is agitated, you can't be happy while seeing other person happy. You will have a jealousy that this person is happy and I am not happy. But once you are happy, you will be happy seeing other person happy. And therefore, this is how it is. All the virtues, our Swami Vittatmanji always talk about this. Well, all the virtues, compassion and non-violence and forgiveness and etc., all these are virtues of Atma. I mean, in a way, because basically, once you know yourself like this and you gain this mental silence, then all this compassion, non-violence are just natural. Just natural. And that's your observation also in your life, that whenever you are happy with yourself, definitely you don't hurt others. You accept others. You forgive others, etc., etc. You will not have a jealousy. But once, if you are unhappy with yourself, you can't stand others' happiness. And therefore, all the virtues basically are, you can coincide. That is how they talk about. Why should we talk about a Daivi Sampatti or Amanittam, etc., these 20 values of the chapter 13 for gaining Adhikarittam? Why? Because they are they bring you close to moksha, bring you close to your own nature. And therefore, if they are there in the mind, well, it will pave a way for gaining moksha. And therefore, it is very important to know this. So, then Maitraha, Karunaha, Evacha, he will have a friendship with all the people. Definitely, for what? Because he is enjoying that mental silence, etc. And therefore, he will not be an enemy to the others. Person may think that person may consider him as an enemy, but he will not have enmity towards others. That's the thing. Because sometimes, no, Swami, that person consider this jnani also as an enemy. That is possible. Due to prarabdha, that is possible. Other people may consider him maybe as an enemy, but he does not have enmity towards others. That's the thing.
Virtue.
So expressions are experience of me, which is Shanta. So whether Vedanta has worked for me or not is to be gauged not in terms of textbooks covered by me in learning, etc., or not in terms of notebooks stacked in the cupboard. Well, it is based on or it is not based on lectures given by Swami. Therefore, it is how this many lectures I have given, and I have taught this Shastra, and I have taught with Bhashyam, etc. Your mind may be enemy towards you. And therefore, ultimately, basically, but it is based on, Vedanta has worked for me or not. It is to be gauged in terms of a silence of the mind. So, and then my prarabdha may, bring an end to the body, etc., today, tomorrow. Well, this person has no grudge, no regret, nothing. So, even to leave the body also, he does not have any kind of a concern. He may leave. He wants to leave. It's not. He may leave. He will not have any kind of a concern for leaving the body. Rite, other than this, Uttamam Padam Nasti, there is no superior goal other than this silence of the mind. This is called Jivan Mukti. It is called Sthira Prajnaha. or sthira prajna, let us say. It is called gunatitattvam, it is called parabhakti, etc. All these are words, synonymous. Experience is one. Either you call sthira prajna, either you call gunatitattvam, either you call parabhakti, either you call jivan mukti. Experience is one. What is that experience? Shanti at the level of the mind. We negate experience of Brahman as an event, but we definitely accept the experience at the level of a mind in terms of silence generated by the knowledge of Brahman as a self. Okay? So Brahman is not available for experience. Moment you say it is available for experience, it is a Brahman. Because Brahman is consciousness, and consciousness is never available for experience, and therefore Brahman cannot be experienced. And if it is not available an object of experience, it will be subject. Simple. It is subject. Subject is never available for objectification, and therefore Brahman happens to be the subject. Whether you appreciate it or not, it's a different matter. But Brahman happens to be the self, and therefore, well, basically, so Brahman is never available for experience, but Brahma Jnana Janya Shantihi, Mana Shantihi is experienceable. Please understand this. Swamiji, moksha is experienceable or not? Yes, it is at the level of mind. We can understand that. Not Brahman available for experience. So mental peace is experienceable. Now verse number 66. Vikshipyate kadachiddhi karmana bhogadayina punas samahita sasyat tadevabhyasa patavad. Now this result of the Jivan Mukti can be clearly experienced by us in two different ways during two types of situation. Means in life two possible situations are there. And different situations, two possible different situations are there. And Jivan Mukti is expressed in both the situations. And for that, I don't require even a certificate of a guru also. You can yourself experience in two different types of situation. What is the first type of situation in life? Where you are alone, right? When I am alone in seclusion, etc., without any interaction with the world. Such a situation will always come. Either you are living in a place where there are nobody, you don't have any neighbor. That could be the thing. Or when you go to bed, definitely you are alone. Or you might have gone to some place deliberately to have an experience of a seclusion, etc. This is one type of situation in your life. And there is another situation, you know very well, I am interacting with the people. And a lot of things come in your life, possible situations as a result of prarabdha. And prarabdha ripens and brings varieties of the experience in your life. That's another type of situation. And you can experience this Jivan Mukti in both the different situations. When in seclusion, mind is silent, no more disturbing thoughts in the mind. Then you are experiencing this Jivan Mukti. So I don't feel like going away from this my own mind. I don't want to escape myself from the mind, because mind doesn't chatter. Mind does not create any disturbing thought patterns. Mind does not create nuisance. And so this is also a Jivan Mukti. Yasto atmareti reva syat atmatruptasya manavah atmani evacha santushtah tasya karyam na vidyate. That very clearly Bhagavan said, atmani santushtah. One is happy with oneself, definitely. Means his mind is not creating any nuisance, basically. So this is one situation in which you can experience Jivan Mukti. You don't require a guru certificate or a teacher certificate for that. You yourself are you directly experience it. And second situation is interaction with the world. And world is not according to my expectation, definitely, especially unfavorable situations and no good news around. And then in such situation, what you do is you watch FIR. In this situation, watch FIR. Yes, one Swami is, basically talks about FIR. It's a beautiful thing, FIR. So frequency, intensity and recovery period. So for a Jivan Mukti, this FIR is lesser and lesser. Means what? So frequency of becoming uncomfortable in an unfavorable situation. Earlier, much more. A single unfavorable incident can make you uncomfortable for days together. Days and nights also together. Now it has reduced. So, and so intensity also is reduced, frequency is reduced. Earlier, every such incident, just you are living and from neighborhood, far from anybody in a community, you all the time getting disturbed. So, and now frequency is reduced. Now 10 people, instead of 10 people, 2 people are capable of making you uncomfortable. and intensity. Even if you become uncomfortable with those 2 people, basically that intensity also has reduced. Sometimes you get angry to a large extent. I mean, intense anger. Now it has reduced. And third is a recovery period. Recovery period is faster. Well, so for a Jivan Mukta, this FIR is lesser and lesser. So this transformation is gradual. It is not going to come within a day or something. But basically, this is called Jivan Mukti, where FIR is reduced. Frequency, intensity and recovery period becomes less. So, so this Shanti, basically, he is gaining even in a situation where he is confronting, I mean, he is actively engaged in relating to others and all. Still, since FIR is less, he is able to enjoy this Jivan Mukti. So, 2 different situations. When he is alone, he does not want to run away from his own mind because his mind has now stopped chattering. And the second is a situation in which he is engaged relating to other people and still FIR is less. Well, definitely he is not able to lose his Shanti or silence of the mind in such a situation also. So then, well, definitely he is enjoying Jivan Mukti. So this is going to be talked about in this verse, which we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.